Hello everyone and welcome to Ugandan Art Speaks Out. Today we are honored to have Diana Kahunde with us as a guest. She's an accomplished Ugandan actress and known for her versatile work across television and film in Uganda. Hello Diana, it's so nice to have you here today.
Thank you for having me here. I'm happy that I'm here today, with you guys. And it's an honor to be here.
So, Diana, please tell us about your early years and how you first got into acting.
So about my early years, where do I start from? So I used to imitate my teachers when I was about 5. That is when my parents realized that I was imitating my teachers. So I would go to school, see what my teachers are doing. I had a favorite teacher who had specs. So I would get my brother's shades and wear them and teach. And I would get all the dolls in the home. The dolls of my sisters, my dolls, and I would stage them into like a classroom format and then give them my books from school. And then I would get a red pen from my mom and then I would teach my dolls. I would cane them, I would beat them, I would destroy them because I was imitating what my teachers used to do. At that point, of course, they thought, oh, she's just a lonely girl, a lonely child, and, maybe she needs a playmate. I continued being lonely and learning so many things on my own. So how acting started. So in my primary 2, I was given a role. We used to do music, dance, and drama at the end of the year, where I would be awarded. It would be like a festival, I got a role as a nurse, and my mom is a nurse. So I tried to depict, how I had seen her, dealing with her patients, with her students. I did that role, and then I also did conducting, conducting the choir and stuff. And then that was my first award. Oh my God, I was so proud of myself.
That sounds amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. Did you have any role models at that time?
In our schools in Uganda, we did not really have people who would come up and say, we are going to train drama. This was all new to us. They didn't have any child that was like me. I was unique. Role models, I would just imitate teachers and the movies that I used to watch.
So, how and when did you get your first official role? Please tell us the story behind that.
I got a whiff that there was a film club in Kampala at the National Theatre. So I got some friends of mine and I was like, let's go and check it out. They were teaching, they were bringing us professionals from Uganda, from Nairobi, and I liked what they were saying. Everything sounded so intense. And I was like, that is the challenge I want. I want to be part of that. After film club, they used to put up, they still do, they put up auditions, they put up interviews on the notice board. So I and about 7 other friends of mine came over to do these auditions. So we went for the auditions and we were just like, we're just trying, And then at the end of that day, shockingly, at about 5 p.m., I got a message on my phone saying that, you've been shortlisted. And I'm like, what does that even mean? There's a second audition. I'm like, okay, why not? Yeah, let's just go and do it, yeah. So that is how my career began.
In what way can you identify with the roles that you play? Are they sometimes similar to your real character?
I realize now that most of the work that I've done, there's usually a role that has a certain trait that I have. For example, in the hostel, I developed the love for cooking because of the character. So I realized that, oh my God, I like to do this, because I was always cooking. I was the mother hen. I am naturally like that. Even if I try so hard to say, no, I'm not going to take care of people, I find myself doing it, always cooking, feeding people. I like people around me. Yeah, so I realized that cooking and the mother hen was something that was very relatable to me. There are other roles. Let me see. I like shiny, shiny stuff. Yes, you know, I'm a vibrant kind of person, a bubbly. So my role with the Honorables was this lady, Miranda, from the UK. She comes into the country, and I do have sisters who are in London. So I used to imitate them so that I get that role right. And then I realized that I like traveling, you know. So I developed the love more, like even if I'm going to Gulu, it's still traveling, you know. There's a role that I'm doing right now on the Choices TV series. Barbara, she is married to a wealthy man, but she has not bore a child for him. And not that I'm not going to, but at the moment, I haven't bore a child yet. Yeah, and I'm not married in real life. So Barbara's character is kind of relatable because Barbara has no child and I have no child, so it's easy to play, you know, compared to if I had to deny that I had children. The Hustler talks about our everyday to-day life in Uganda. This lady who ended up working with the thieves that had come to thug her to steal from the rich and give to the poor. So for me, what I related it to is the many kind of things that someone has to do, you know, different streams of income to make it in life. Some roles I have had later that were written specifically for me to do. So they choose them, I don't. I wish I could choose more. I would, I think, choose one when I'm in hospital and I'm psychic or, you know, a murderer. There are things I haven't done before. So I wish I had the opportunity to do that.
What does it feel like to get recognized on the streets? How do you feel in the public eye?
Well, being recognized on the street shows me how much work I have done. When they approach me and they're angry, I realize I pulled off a character. It only gets bad when they want to fight me, you know, because some fans don't put a line between reality and what they see on TV. So that's when it gets dangerous. Other spaces are really profitable. For example, you go to Serena, everybody from the gate, they know you, they just take you straight to the boss's office, you know. That is something that is good because at the end of the day, I'm going to easily pitch whatever I've come to talk about, and then I can go home. Besides, you know, all attention is on me. I don't want attention, but there are some good things that come along with it. I've gotten opportunity after opportunity without even having to send a resume. I'm usually working. So, yes. The media does not always portray me as I would love to be portrayed. In some instances, yes, if they have a sit-down interview with you, maybe they will write everything you say, and maybe you say something that you should not have said, and then it comes through, and you're like, I thought we agreed that this should not come out, but they are looking for what is going to go viral. So it always does not come off the right way. And some, you know, tabloids have been closed off because of that. You know, you go to a party, you just want to be normal, but they're going to be like, oh, okay, she was, you know, carried out of the place. She got really drunk, maybe just because she danced on top of a table, you know. Yeah, so it does not always portray us in the best way. And they know me for being blunt about what really goes on. I do not sugarcoat anything, so I don't think I'm one of their favorites. Oh, and about that also, and I had to relearn certain things and also unlearn certain things. News is good, whether it is good or bad. You have to adjust and be able to adapt. You have to have a thick skin.
What is it like to be a woman in the film industry? Can you share some of the challenges that you face?
Being a woman and in this industry, it does have its challenges. It's a male-dominated industry, so many times I want to do something new, they'll be like, they would rather hire a male intern than a female intern. The other challenge is about finances. I could be doing the same job as my male counterpart, but he will be paid 20 million and they will give me 1.5 because, oh, who am I going to take care of? Am I providing for anybody? You know, I'm not a man. So how am I going to bargain? You know, a man will say, I have a family of 5 children, you know, even if it's elaborate, they will not pay us as well as they pay the men. Yeah, so that is quite challenging. Just because I'm not a man does not mean I don't have plans of building a house, you know. As a female, there's been sexual harassment. I've left a set before where a director-producer touched my breasts and, you know, spanked me. And with time, I got fed up of it. You know, at some time, you have to break. And I left the set. I loved it so much, but I had to leave it because, first of all, I was getting traumatized that every time I see this man, he's going to touch me. And also, my pride and dignity was being, you know, strained. Yeah, so those are the challenges. You know, related to that, they say, if you don't, you know, sleep with me, I'm not going to give you this role and things like that. And that's where our principles and values come in, who you are as a person. So you stand your ground and you say, you know, if this role was for me on merit, then I'll get it. If it's not, then I don't have to. And then at the end of the day, the executive producer tells him, I want Kahunde to come and work on this project. And you come and you are all like, you know, yeah, I didn't have to do anything, you know, to get the role. When you refuse to give sexual favors, the man gets mad, he gets angry, like, who do you think you are? I was asked by one of them, you're just a woman, you know? Where are you going to go from this? I left that project, and then I'm sure he is still in pain that I got here now without having to do anything with him. So it is about my merit and my work. If you can't pay me for what I am bringing on table, then it is okay. Another thing will come on. Yeah, those are the challenges that we face. Also, we don't have entertainment lawyers, you know? We suffer with these contracts because we sign on to something out of desperation and then it bites us at the end of the day. There is an advert that is running around. I talk about it now, you know, openly because everyone who sees it is like, oh my God, Kahunde, you have made money from the beginning of your career. But I am not getting anything from it because of the contract I signed when I was naive. We don't have people who advise us. Another problem is we don't get orientation. I would expect that before I do any production, I get an orientation about my role, my character Bible, what to do, what not to do, how I should appear in public, how I should not.
Do you think the film industry reflects real Ugandan lives?
I think it would be very good for us to do more authentic stories that depicts Uganda, stories about our heritage. It comes really from the bottom of my heart that, you know, showing our heritage would be something that will take us a long way. We need to show our real roots, what we do, how we dress, how we eat, how we do these ceremonies. We have quite a number of ceremonies, wedding ceremonies, to get to the final ceremony day. So many things happen to a girl, most especially. I think that is something we should do. So there is this series called Ties That Bind Us, and I portray a local woman in the village married to a traditional man, and it depicts ways that traditional people thinking that the parents choose for the girl the husband, you know, and then the struggles and the conflicts that are happening in the family.
Do you have advice for young aspiring artists, especially women?
Consistency in what you're doing and whether you love it. I mean, you can't be consistent in something that you have no passion. Yeah, so what is your passion, and can you be consistent no matter what? Because at the end of the day, it is your consistency that helps you detect your payment. Because if people are used to seeing your consistency, if you've been doing something for 10 years, they're going to believe you are good at it, you know? So advice is consistency, passion for film, if you would like to do that. Well, praying, you know? What do you pray to and who do you pray to? Do you believe in that? I believe in God, and I believe praying helps me go through so many hard challenges that I meet along the way. Persistency, you know, to persist on something is to wake up at 5 a.m. every day and say, I'm going to do this, and do it to the finish. And then keeping your word. Also knowing your worth. Are you able to do this job for something that is not your worth? Yes, sometimes you say, you know what, this is going to grow my career or give me exposure. At this point, that is my worth. then you do that. But when you're at a certain different table, you say, no, my worth is this, and you're able to do that. Values and principles that people need to understand. If you want to grow, then you will have to adjust to situations and circumstances to make sure you get to that goal.
Thank you so much for your time, Diana, and thank you for all of the things that you shared with us today. We feel really deeply honored. And for all of you guys, thank you for tuning in. You've been listening to Ugandan Art Speaks Out, and if you enjoyed this episode, feel free to share it, subscribe, and come back and listen to us for more powerful voices of the Ugandan art scene.